All of that is true. So welcome back to Hollow Knight. I have finished Hollow Knight's first ending. What I'm currently working on is basically ending 2 and potentially 3. Bug game. Yeah, this game is full of bugs. It's horrible. Don't play it. Quite the opposite. Please play it. It's really good. Now, my biggest problem is that I forgot most of the controls of this game. Right, this was the special ability I remember. Charge. Double jump. Anything else? Hold this button to heal when you want. Bugs are cool. It depends on the bug. I hate this guy. Ow. Okay, that is basically what I didn't want to do, but here we are. Ow. 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 Okay, this is a very good development. Was my charge ability? Where was the charge ability? Was it here? Oh yeah. So I'm currently a little bit stuck at this boss fight, and it is extremely annoying because every time I die, I literally, well, more or less are forced to fill up soul again before I go there. I don't have to, but I feel better having it. Then again, I had a pet snake before. Most people don't like snakes. Which doesn't make sense, because most people dislike insects more than a snake. Wait a second, why is my soul thing full? I don't recall that I picked up my ghost. Does it fix itself if you go back to the start screen? Snakes are nice. I don't know, I never had a snake, so I cannot judge. So this room is weird. So you see, this room has no function at all. And yes, I don't have a marker at the moment, but I'm basically here. So as you can see, this is just a long room, and the purpose is just to have a long room with nothing in it. But for some reasons the devs thought, long room, boss fight after that, return fast? How about no? Because you have to walk up here. Then you can charge this ability, charge over there into the next platform, which is just slightly higher, so you cannot just charge through the entire room. Which makes no sense whatsoever. They are surprisingly cuddly, or maybe that was because I had a ball python, which is a constrictor snake. Yeah. I love you. I can't breathe. I love you. Just like some humans. Let's see. Okay. So this is Silk Song. Sha. Ow. Ow. It's never good when she's doing that. Ow. This is not going to work out. Yeah, I lovingly call her Silk Song instead of Hornet because when the first time I saw her again, because it's not the first time I played the game, I was like, oh look, it's Silk Song. And since then I kept that. Look, so now I died, which is lovingly, because now, like, if I want to do this the most optimal way, I would literally get my shadow, go back here, farm some soul, because soul farming is fun. Also, I have the strongest weapon. I have the strongest weapon. I have charm in that makes my weapon even stronger, and yet I still feel too weak. I will be honest. I still feel too weak. It's not that you're weak, it's just everything else that's too strong. That's one way to look at it. I mean, in this regard, Hollow Knight is not easy. You know, since we call Hollow Knight also a Souls-like, I say, like, if you want to play a Souls-like for the first time, just don't play Hollow Knight. And even though they are too strong, you still manage to keep up to them and be able to beat them, so that's nice. 84 years later. Right? Ow. 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 That is such a bad attempt here. I could just give up again. Yeah, just kill me. The thing is, we have we have in chat Epitsune. Epitsune is really good at this game. He has speedrun this game. And every time Epitsune says like, this boss is not bad, it's not difficult, I already know this boss will be at least medium difficulty for me. Epitsune would also say that this fight I'm currently at is not really difficult. And guess what? I went out of my way to actually upgrade the damage of this ability I'm using in the fight. And still it feels like, why did I do this? So far it doesn't feel like it helps me at all. Ow. Yes. Good thing I used that, because it's not like I'm trying to gain soul for that. Yes and no. I didn't read this correctly, so do you play rogue? I call them rogue similars. Do I play them? I do. Chat, is it time? Is it time to explain? See, I have a problem sometimes with people like who decided to create a genre name and find it smart, but it's actually not. And I give you two examples of that. One of them is roguelikes and roguelites. Notice how similar they sound when someone is speaking like, yeah, I do like roguelikes, but do you actually like roguelites? Like, the T and K is not very pronounced when you say it. So I never understood how people came up with this, because it's just silly. Rogue was the original game, a very, very old game that defined this genre, where it's basically like, here you are, you start, you play, you gain stuff, but if you die, you go to the very beginning and with 0 things. So the true rogue genre is literally lose everything, start from 0. That is how roguelikes started to exist, right? And this makes sense, and I have nothing against that. But then the genre expanded itself. It started to do things like unlock permanence in your runs. That is what then people started to call roguelites. because it is a rogue game, but it makes the game easier the longer you play. So I came to the conclusion that this is just silly and we just should call everything in that genre rogue similar. Because, let's face it, the majority of rogue games are now rogue lights, aka rogue games that unlock permanent things over time. So hybrid rogue games are basically the majority. Pure, true rogue games are rare. They still exist, but they are very rare. And so I came to the point that I just say everything that is in any genre of rogues, I just call rogue similar. Yeah. You want another example? Metroidvania is a very stupid term. So, Metroidvania describes a genre of game where you have to backtrack to proceed, which is okay. But the problem I have is, why is Castlevania in this description? It doesn't make sense. Because here's the thing, Metroid, we talk about Metroid 1 on the NES, came out before Castlevania started to introduce backtracking in their games. I will say that the first game that actually really implemented that in Castlevania was Symphony of the Night. Now, somebody would probably come and say like, but what about Simon's Quest, which is Castlevania 2, where there's one specific instance where you had to backtrack. So I could say like, okay, cool, if you really want, okay, let's count Simon's Quest as the first Castlevania with a backtrack feature, but even then, Metroid was out before even Castlevania 1 was out. And if I remember correctly, the difference is 1 month. So, why is Castlevania in this description of Metroidvania? Castlevania has never actually done anything to be called a backtrack game. The game that made it mainstream, because like backtrack games did exist before Metroid, but Metroid was the one backtrack game that made it a mainstream thing, that introduced it to the mainstream. That's why we use it. So when someone says like this is a Metroidvania game, that doesn't make sense. I call that just Metroid-like. Because Castlevania has no right to be in this. Castlevania has never done anything for that genre. But that's just me. I do not expect that people will pick up on that or change the genre from Metroidvania to Metroid-like or roguelites into rogue similar. Of course not. The masses decide what they want as descriptors. I can dislike that as much as I want. Ow. 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 One of the most annoying points in this fight is literally that you get no chance to heal unless you use a charm that increases the speed of healing. Welcome back, Epitome. It's got me thinking about games, and pure roguelike game is Minecraft hardcore mode. Potentially. Hollow Knight, yes, and I already hate it. I mean Hollow Knight, not what you said. And yes, that is Epitune I talked about. Ow. You are now famous, Epitune. Enjoy. Arc. I don't want to be famous. You become now poo-poo for. Nah. I also don't want to do this fight. I actually don't want to fight any boss in Hollow Knight, to be honest. See, the biggest problem is I pressed the wrong button. See, what irritates me the most is that charge and special attack are on the same side. That is what confuses me the most, because then I charge when I actually want to do the special attack. It's like, why? Or I could just walk into spikes. And yes, surprisingly enough, I finished this game despite that I'm not good at it. Keep mishearing Hornet's voice line as garlic. Sha! Here! I still like that in this game you get geo and you can buy stuff, and then there should be a bank, but there's not really a bank. And then you reach this point at the game where you're like, I bought everything. And you have no use for geo anymore. At all. And this is the point where I would say, like, why did the developer not implement, like, a feature in the sense of, like, you know, benches like this would offer a I heal all your soul feature for, I don't know, 20 geo or something like that. Because I would prefer that instead of always go back down and kill enemies to regain soul. What about gambling? What should I do with gambling in Hollow Knight? There's a charm that does that. That is definitely a charm I do not possess. It's a permanent passive. Excuse you? There's no more space for passives. Why do you know things I don't? Can't remember her name, but the bug that sells only charms gives it to you after collecting every charm in the game. Yeah, in other words, it's completely bullshit. You know, that shouldn't be the prerequisite to get this ability. That is just dumb. That is really stupid. You do know how difficult it is to collect all charms. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, but to require all charms is just like, no. Oh, thank you. Ow. Ow. Silk Song, stop. Was mistaken, it's 40 charms out of 45. Yeah, but even that is like really difficult. Imagine it would show you a number. I think charms like the King Soul and such are excluded from the requirement. What's a Hollow Knight? It's a big boy that is not very happy. Are you sure there are 45 charms? That doesn't make sense. I just counted 2, 4, 6, 2, 5, yeah. I have 33 charms. And I'm missing 7. That would get me to 40. So how can 45 charms exist? The only knowledge I have about Hollow Knight is Hornet, and that's it. I can only tell you this, like, Hollow Knight is not the bug you are playing in the game. Charms that upgrade count as separate charms. That would still bring me to 43 charms. Shade Soul charm gets upgraded. That's 44 then. So is the 45th. Ah, and I also knew that the thing you're playing as is called Ghost. I have to thank Indie for this. Don't remember every charm in the game, but I'm sure if you looked, you could find it. I'm not going to put any effort into finding those charms, so I can get this ability. That is too much work behind bosses and shitty areas, and I'm not up for that at all. But hey, when? Beginning of June, people finally can play their Silk Song? Good for them. I shall observe and see if the developer has learned anything from Hollow Knight. Because if they haven't, I will certainly not play the next game. Now? God damn it, Silk-san. Yeah, I have a lot of fun with this game, I have to say. As per usual.